Now welcome back to the channel, hope everybody's doing well, and in today's video we're taking a look at the instrumentation setup that I use for testing a rotor generator. Now in the past I've just had all the different instrumentation in its various boxes and bags and just carried them in piecemeal with multiple handfuls. This last generator rotor that I tested, I tried to get a little bit smarter and have multiple instruments into the one bag, so there would be less trips to and from the vehicle. The particular bag here is from Velocity Pro Gear. It's their 7.5 tester bag. I do utilise this for another test setup for what we call an installation tester or a multifunction tester in the UK, but that doesn't get an awful lot of use, and this is an expensive bag, so I tried to repurpose it to see if I can get some more usage out of it. Okay, so we'll go through the little pouches at the front here. In this first pouch we have a couple of sets of spare batteries. These are just EBL rechargeable batteries that I use in a lot of my instruments. That's those there. In the next pocket along I have a panel key. This particular one's from PB Swiss. Don't actually need it very often for testing the generators, but it just stays in there just in case. And then this final pocket on the front here, I have just a little set of bits here from Vera. This is the BC10 universal kit. It's just got a few flatheads, Phillips, and then posies, and then the wrap adapter on the side there that you can have as an extension piece. That's those there. In this next pocket here I have my voltage tester. This one's from Martindale. This would normally sit in with the multifunction tester, so I've just reutilised it for this. So as I said, it doesn't get much use, so it's in pretty good condition at this moment in time. That's that there, and then on this side, nothing much in use. Just this one pocket here that has the USB power lead and communication lead for the Pico scope that I use as part of the testing. Then again, that's just a hangover from the other bag really, just a lockout tag. And then on the other side, so in this pocket here I've just got pen here, Pico pencil, and then my proving unit, which is the SP400 from Socket & C. And the pocket next to that is a volt stick. This particular one is the Q-Stick Uno from Q-Tech. I can utilise this with the SP400 here from Socket & C. There's a little button here. If I just press it, and you can see it lights up, prove it, and then whatever I need to test, and then prove it again. This one stays on permanently all the time, this one. A very simple one. And then in the pocket at the end there is a little lantern from Unilight. That's the SLR 1000. I just will show this to one side. The Socket & C tester is also set up so that I can use my voltage indicator with it as well. I can go on and test my tester with it. On the top here I have just a little clipboard with a pen and paper in there, and these are my protocol sheets that I use for recording the test results on. I've got different protocol sheets for the various different tests that I do, usually one for each type of test. So this particular one is for AC impedance reading and RSO readings that covers the inter-turn insulation. That is just on the little bands on this front here, so I can remove that, and then that makes it easier to write on to record the test results. And then we can look what's inside the actual bag itself. So in the top here, this is the actual Pico scope. The particular one I've got is the 3404, very old now. I think it is actually an obsolete one. I think it's been replaced with a higher spec unit. This next box here is just a resistance box, so I can check the functionality of the micro ohm meter that I'm utilising to measure the winding resistance, which the micro ohm meter I can't actually fit in this bag, unfortunately. In the actual meter pocket area I've got the MIT 422, that's one insulation tester, and then I've got another insulation tester, so I carry two insulation testers with me, purely and simply because I don't want to be caught out if one of these went wrong or I wanted to recheck another reading or something like that. But this particular one is a CA6526. It's probably my favourite one because this will send results to the laptop. And then the other instrument in here is the Metrix OX5022. I use this setup as a dual channel voltmeter, so for when I'm measuring AC impedance and DC winding resistance with my high current test box, I can record both the test voltage and the test current on the millivolt shunt at the same time. And then to go along with the insulation testers, and the same principle as the micro ohm meter, I have a test resistor for the insulation test as well, just to verify that the insulation testers are working okay. Particularly good if you get a bad reading, you can just prove that your insulation tester is okay in front of the client. And then the rest of the bits and pieces in here are the various crop clips for the instruments, a couple of test probes, and then these adapters for converting the inputs on the OX5022 to normal banana leads. So that's all the meters out of the main pocket there. I also have just tucked down the side here this little boroscope from Teslong. This is the NTS 500, and then the actual camera head for that unit is tucked in at the front here. That's that one there. Final meter I've got in the bag is the Fluke 971, which is used for recording the ambient temperature, humidity and dew point, as well for recording on the protocol sheets. And then the only other bits and pieces I've got in here is a little battery power bank for use with the oscilloscope to power that. A little ruler. Sometimes I have to take measurements, especially on some of the brushless excitation systems. You have to strip down. Sometimes there's a physical measurement of the connection studs in there. And then finally a little screwdriver. Again, this sits as part of the multifunction test bag and obviously works with the Vera set of bits that I also carry. And that's the main part of the bag there. I'll flip her around. And then that just leaves test leads that I'm utilising. So for the test leads, the majority of them I keep in these pockets that are on the lid of the bag. Just general 4mm test leads there, some extra ones, and then the ones from the actual, I think these are from the CA6526, those test leads there. And then the final set is for when I'm testing the micro ohm meter on the resistance box. I just have this set of leads to do a 4-wire measurement on them to set it up. And the final lead is just the adapter lead that goes into the battery power bank and then plugs into the picoscope to provide power to that there. And that's the full instrumentation setup that I took with me. So I did look at the prices of the test equipment that I've got in this bag and the total setup that I've got. These prices here, they are the modern day prices of this equipment. So I said some of my bits and pieces are obsolete or been replaced with more up-to-date models. Obviously the most expensive one there is the Metrix dual channel scope meter there in the middle of the table, the OX5022B. That is an upgrade from my model, and that's the most expensive one that you see there at circa £1,500. All these prices do include UK VAT as well. And the two insulation testers, the Mega, the Chauvelin, they are the next two most expensive items. I did look back through my old information. They were around about £200 cheaper when I bought them a few years back, so they do appear to have shot up in price by quite some amount. And then after that we are with the Picoscope MSO. That's now the 3404D. My model is a 3404A. I seem to remember that being a bit cheaper as well, but I can't find any price for what I paid for that at the time. But yeah, total price overall is £5,318. So that's a fair bit of money for a test setup. But then again, when you're testing generators, rotors worth millions of pounds, I guess it's Not much at all, is it? So that's the full setup there. You can see it is kind of cluttered up, both in this position here. The picoscope doesn't sit in properly really alongside the test resistance box, so I need to do a workaround to solve that issue really. And also the instruments themselves, it's kind of okay. You can see the two Chavananu units. Metrics is part of Chavananu. They sit down there with the MIT 420 sitting on top. It's okay-ish. The lid does close up reasonably well. There isn't much pressure on the top of it, but obviously it's not overly neat. So yeah, I will probably put the installation tester back in this bag and look for another solution for this metering. I know Velocity Pro Gear do the 8.5, which is a power tool bag, so I might be able to do something with that, with some shadow foam to put the meters in and the like, but that's quite an expensive bag. The only other way that I'm thinking at the moment is something like a DeWalt power stack drawer unit that I might be able to put the different bits and pieces in and possibly get some more of the test instrumentation in as well as that. But that's what I came up with. It seemed to work reasonably well on the day. Just needs a bit of refining here and there, I guess. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Hope you found it useful, and I'll see you again in the next one.